Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that sounds almost like a business school fable. It's about a giant, a titan of the industry, and how one small oversight, one seemingly minor miscalculation, cost them a staggering $25 billion. We're talking about Nike, the undisputed king of sportswear, and the one brand that slipped right through their fingers and is now challenging their throne. Hoka. So, how did this happen? How did a company known for its visionary marketing and product innovation completely miss the boat on one of the biggest shifts in running shoe history? To understand this, we need to rewind the clock a bit. For decades, the running world was dominated by a single philosophy: minimalism. The idea was that the less shoe you had, the more naturally you would run. Think of those barefoot running shoes, the ones that looked like gloves for your feet. Brands like Vibram 5 Fingers were the talk of the town, and the entire industry, including Nike with its Free line, was sprinting in this direction. The mantra was less is more. Lighter, thinner, and more flexible was the name of the game. It was all about feeling the ground beneath your feet. But while everyone was stripping down their shoes, two French trail runners, Nicolas Mermoud and Jean-Luc Diard, were thinking the exact opposite. They were running ultra-marathons in the Alps, grueling races that would destroy anyone's feet. They looked at other sports, tennis, skiing, mountain biking, and saw how oversized technology was used to improve performance and reduce impact. Skis got wider for better float on powder, and mountain bike tires got fatter for more grip and cushion. They asked a simple question: why not apply the same logic to running shoes? And so, in 2009, Hoka on One was born. The name, from a Maori phrase, means fly over the earth. And that's exactly what their shoes were designed to do. They were weird. They were huge, clunky, and looked completely out of place next to the sleek, minimalist shoes of the era. They were what we now call maximalist shoes. They had massive, oversized midsoles that provided an unprecedented amount of cushioning. The initial reaction from the running community was, to put it mildly, skeptical. People called them clown shoes. They looked ridiculous. They defied every trend and conventional wisdom of the time. Who would want to run in these giant, platform-like shoes? It seemed like a niche product for a handful of ultra-marathoners at best. And this is where Nike, the giant, made its first critical error. They dismissed it. Nike was at the top of its game. They were busy perfecting their Flyknit technology and dominating the market with their lightweight racers. In their world, Hoka was just a blip, a novelty act that wouldn't last. Why would they bet on something so radically different when their current formula was working so well? They were the trendsetters, not the followers. They were confident that the minimalist trend they helped create would continue indefinitely. But something interesting started to happen. While the elite runners were debating ground feel and foot strike, a different group of people started discovering Hoka. These weren't professional athletes. They were everyday runners, older runners, people recovering from injuries, and people who just wanted a more comfortable run. For them, the extra cushioning wasn't a gimmick. It was a revelation. It meant less pain in their knees, less impact on their joints, and the ability to run longer and more enjoyably. The word started to spread, not through massive marketing campaigns, but through grassroots, word-of-mouth recommendations. Running store employees, who are on their feet all day, started wearing them. Doctors and podiatrists started recommending them to patients with foot problems. The very thing that made Hoka look strange, its massive sole, became its unique selling point. It was pure function over form. This is the second place Nike missed the mark. They were so focused on the performance athlete, the person chasing personal bests, that they overlooked the massive and growing market of comfort runners. This is the majority of the market. Most people who buy running shoes aren't trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon. They're jogging in the park, hitting the treadmill, or just looking for a comfortable shoe to walk around in all day. Hoka tapped into this silent majority. They understood that for millions of people, comfort isn't just a feature. It's the most important feature. While Nike was selling speed and aspiration, Hoka was selling comfort and accessibility. Their message was simple: running doesn't have to hurt. In 2013, Deckers Brands, a parent company of UG and Teva, saw the potential. They acquired Hoka for a relatively small sum. This gave Hoka the financial backing and distribution network it needed to go from a niche trail running brand to a mainstream powerhouse. The growth was explosive. From just a few $1 million in sales, Hoka rocketed towards $1 billion and then $2 billion in annual revenue. By the time Nike finally woke up and realized what was happening, Hoka was already a giant in its own right. Nike tried to play catch-up. They released their own maximalist cushioned shoes, like the Zoom X Invincible Run. And it's a great shoe, but it was too little, too late. Hoka had already captured the hearts and feet of the comfort-seeking consumer. They had built a brand identity and a loyal community around this core principle. When people thought of maximum cushion, they thought of Hoka. Nike was trying to muscle in on a category that Hoka had created and now owned. It's like trying to compete with Kleenex in the tissue market. Hoka became synonymous with the category itself. So, where does that $25 billion number come from? Well, if you look at the valuation of other standalone footwear companies like On Running, which went public with a massive valuation, it's not a stretch to say that if Hoka were its own independent company today, it would easily be worth around $25 billion. And that's value that Nike could have captured. They had the resources, the R&D, and the marketing power to create this category themselves, or to acquire Hoka in its early days for a fraction of that cost. But they didn't. Their own success and their belief in the minimalist trend created a blind spot. They were so focused on their own lane that they didn't see a whole new highway being built right next to them. The story of Nike and Hoka is a powerful lesson for any business, big or small. It shows that no matter how dominant you are, you can never afford to be complacent. You have to listen to all of your customers, not just the elite ones. And sometimes, the most revolutionary ideas are the ones that look the weirdest at first. The clown shoes that everyone laughed at are now worn by millions, from marathon winners to nurses working 12-hour shifts. It's a reminder that the market is always shifting, and consumer needs evolve. The brand that wins isn't always the biggest or the fastest, but the one that listens the closest and isn't afraid to challenge the status quo. Nike is still the king, there's no doubt about that. But Hoka has proven that even a king can make a multi-billion-dollar mistake. The kingdom is no longer undisputed. What do you guys think? Did Nike drop the ball? Or was Hoka's rise just an unpredictable phenomenon? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your take on this. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the world of business and branding. We'll see you in the next one.